Right here is part number 3 of your blueprint to exercise success. This one is based on balance, stability, and stretching. Why does balance matter? So balance is important because it prevents injuries from falls. It activates stabilizing muscles like in your hips, ankles, etc. It improves your coordination and posture. The one thing is about balance, you guys, is that as we get older, sometimes some people I've noticed, they might struggle, maybe they lose their balance for somehow. A few balance exercises that I found, that you can try, and I'm not gonna demonstrate each one of these because it'll take too long. The video will take too long. That's not what this video is about. It's about giving you guys enough information for your exercise program. This is 6 parts. Okay, so this is the 3rd part, and then you're gonna get the other few parts here the next week, right? So then you're gonna have everything you need to make sure you understand. Then when you go to the gym and you start working out, you're gonna be prepared. You're gonna be mentally prepared. Okay. But then also you're going to have some of the skills, because I'm giving you guys some great information on some of the, like I said, stretching, balance. We're going to get into the yoga. I'm going to get into different exercises. I'm also going to get into why it's important to have core strength, why it's important to strength train. So tips for balance, right? Try to incorporate balance drills, right? 2 to 3 times per week. Okay. Focus on unilateral single leg arm exercises. Use stability balls or balance boards for added difficulty. Balance is not something you find, it's something you create. So if you're not exercising, you're not working out, right? At least you could be stretching, you guys, right? Yoga, I'm telling you, I'm gonna show you guys, it's powerful. It gets into every crevice, every joint, every muscle, right? It just stretches everything out and gets the blood flowing, right? So for me, I stopped doing yoga for a while because I hurt my shoulder, and then the back of my knee, and then my other knee, right? So then it's like I want to do yoga to get my whole body really, really, really strong and stretched out, right? But if you hurt your the joints that if you get swelling, you can't really do it. If you hurt yourself and you're doing yoga all the time, well, at least if you're going to the gym and working out, you can still do. If your leg hurts, at least you can still do your upper body, right? And that's the majority of my workouts. A lot of times I have to put something on hold for a month, and then I can get back to it, because I'm healing, I'm recovering. And like I said, the more older I get and the less stretching I do, and if I eat bad foods, all those things right there add to me having injuries. Why stretching is so important? Well, like we talked about earlier, right? It gets your makes you flexible, right? And it increases your range of motion, right? It reduces your risk of injury. I think I mentioned that one earlier. Boosts blood flow to the muscles. Prepares your body for movement, and it aids in post-workout recovery. So, like I was mentioning in another video, I do a lot of pull-ups and dips every time I go into the gym, right? That's a mandatory, because those are stretching for me. So when I get on that pull-up, so a lot of times I'll just hang there and just move my back around, a little bit, just loosen everything, and then I'll start doing my pull-ups, right? The same thing with the dips. I'll get there, stretch, try to get the dips are the ones where you get on that machine, right? And then you hold like this, and then you push yourself up, right? So I would get that one, and I would do that one. I just do a little stretching. I usually do 5 or so, real slow, and then I get after it after that, right? So types of stretching, right? So there's a few different types. Dynamic stretching, right? Those are the ones you want to do before your workout to warm up. Static stretching, those are the ones you want to do after the exercise as a cool down to prevent stiffness, okay? So when I'm in the sauna, a lot of times I'll be standing there, I'll be doing these things right here, holding myself up like this, just to stretch out my kneecaps, because my kneecaps kind of hurt sometimes because I played too much basketball throughout my life, And then sometimes when this knee's blown up right here, because this is my bad knee, right? I can't bend it all the way like that. It was hard for me just now to to bring it back, you know. So, and then the other one is called proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, right? And that's just an advanced technique for improving flexibility. But I wanted to show you guys basically the different types, what they're called, so we can understand what we're talking about here. Try not to stretch cold muscles. Try to warm them up first, okay? We'll talk about that a little bit. Hold static stretches for 15 to 20 seconds, okay? So that's like yoga, right? Avoid bouncing while stretching. Breathe deeply to enhance relaxation. Okay, so just a quick example. I got my yoga mat right here in front of me, okay? So I forgot the name of this one, right? It's like the one where you go like this, right? And you hold, okay? You're holding like this, okay? And you come up. So you come up like this, and you go down, boom, and you hold. And you come up like this. There's this yoga meltdown that I do. It's called sometimes, and I try to do it. I would love to do it like at least a couple times a week, but usually I do it once every week. If like I said, if my body's okay to do the yoga, right? But when you do hold these poses, right? You're holding them. So the idea is when I learned this is by this lady named Jillian Michaels. She has this awesome yoga meltdown. You can find it on Amazon. I have it on my Amazon. On Amazon, what's cool is that it's always sitting there in your queue. It's already sitting there when you buy it. So basically, all you gotta do is push the button, watch it, and do your yoga, right? So I would recommend hers, Yoga Meltdown by Jillian Michaels. But the reason I'm saying is because the one is when you go like this and you're holding, right? And then you come up, you go 1, you go 2, right? 3, okay? And then 4, right? And then you go all the way to like 8. Then you hold. Then you just hold like this. So now you're holding for like, I think it was like 8 seconds also. So you do 8 and you hold for 8, something like that, right? But you can try it out. And then you just hold it. And then eventually some people, you'll start shaking, your knees start shaking and everything, right? And then you come up. And so basically what you're doing is all your joints and everything, you're getting that blood flowing, right? So just a quick example, because I like to make sure you really understand the majority of this whole thing, you guys, is the mind, right? We have this mind virus that will not let us do anything, that wants us to sit on the couch, eat bonbons, and watch soap operas, right? And that's not a good or a long life, right? We want to be the ones making the movies, right? We want to the ones we don't want to be watching the movies. We want to make the movies. We want to be the actors. We want to be the stars in this world, right? But if we're always watching those guys on TV and we're eating bonbons, then we're just always going to be the people on the sidelines, right? Let's get in the game, okay? Let's get off the couch. Let's get rid of the bonbons, right? And let's get to the gym and let's just start exercising and have some and enjoy your life and have that mental clarity that you need, that you're missing right now because you're sitting around, right? If you're sitting around, you're getting brain fog all the time. You know, you're eating certain foods that are causing the brain fog. You know, let's stop that. Like I said, I have another video, all those videos on food, your blueprint to weight loss success. Watch that whole thing. It's life-changing. It's transformative, okay? Just like this is. Leg swings, right? Leg swings are the ones where basically you're going to just go like this, right? You're going to just swing them. You're just going to swing it forward, right? And it's just really good for my bad knee. I feel it loosening up, right? And then the same thing, go to the other side, right? So you want to do this. This is the warm-up, right? This is the warm-up before. This is not really, all you're doing is warming up right now. You're not really doing much, but just warming up. And so then when you start doing your exercise, you go front, leg swings in the front, right? Okay. Leg swings in the front, right? Okay. So do your leg swings. Okay. I would recommend them if you're going to get on the bike. Whatever you're going to do. If you're going to do something that has to do with your legs, then just do your leg swings. Actually, when you guys do your leg swings, make sure though, like you can, I don't have a surface here, but you want to, they like you to stand against, hold yourself up against the wall, you know, and then you can start doing it, okay? So that way you don't fall over and stuff, okay? With me, I don't have a wall here, so we're just going to use what I just showed you as the example, okay? Which is fine. So, I mean, not everybody has to have the wall, especially if you can handle it, right? So, but let's talk about real quickly. I want to talk about. So it just says basically, right? Swing one leg forward, right? And then backward like a pendulum, right? Keeping your core tight, okay? And your back straight, okay? And then repeat 10 to 15 swings on each side, okay? So just do 10 to 15 swings. Like I said, I don't have a wall to hold on to, so I'm just kind of just swinging my leg, but yeah. So anyway, that's all you gotta do in that one. So the leg swings will loosen tight hip flexors and hamstrings, and they'll prepare your legs for dynamic movement, right? Arm circles, on the other hand, those are great because they help you warm up your your shoulders and your arms, right? So just stand tall, right? With your feet and shoulders, or your feet shoulder width apart, right? So shoulder width apart, make sure your feet are shoulder width apart, make sure you guys can see, okay? And then basically you're gonna extend your arms, right? You're gonna extend your arms, okay? And then you're gonna make forward circles with your arms, gradually increasing to larger circles. Okay? And then you're going to reverse the direction, and you're after 10 to 15 rotations, okay? You're going to do the same thing. Okay? Loosen them puppies up, right? Shoulders are important, you guys. Joints are important. That's why I'm showing you this stuff. Without this stuff, you're going to hurt yourself, and then you're going to end up, if you don't do this stuff, and then you're going to end up having to stop your workout, and you might never go back, and you might just ruin everything. So the arm circles, what's so good about those is they increase the blood flow to your shoulders, right, and your arms, and it improves your shoulder stability and mobility, right, and reduces stiffness, okay? Then we have the other thing, which is called hip circles, right, and I think that might be kind of important because a lot of people, I know a lot of people that hurt their hips, right? I hear it as I get older, right? But so just basically stand, with your feet slightly wider than your shoulders, okay? And then slowly rotate your hips in a circular motion, okay? Making large circles, okay? Try to do 5 to 10 circles in one direction, okay? And then switch. Okay, go back the other way. Okay? So this improves your hip and lower back mobility, right? It engages and warms up your core muscles, getting you ready for your workout. Walking lunges, yeah, that engages multiple muscle groups, right? I'm not going to perform that one, right? But you're going to stand basically, upright with your feet, hip width apart, right? Step forward. So you're going to step forward with one leg, lowering your hips, okay? Until both knees are bent at about 90 degrees, okay? And then push off with your back leg to step forward, okay? Into the next lunge, right? And then repeat 10 to 12 steps on each leg, okay? So, like I said, I teach a lot of my students. The one middle school class I have, it's funny because we did this, right? After I had them do all the stretches. They did the leg swings, they did the arm circles, a bunch of stuff, right? And then I said, all right, we'll do the leg lunges. So we're all literally walking around the whole class like ducks, following each other. They all follow me around like ducks. And I was all telling them, okay, we're all ducks now, so the whole class was ducks walking around the class. Maybe I'll bring that back again this year. I stopped it because it was kind of too, we had too much fun with it, but yeah, anyway, yeah. So try that. That might be good for you. I think it's a great thing to consider. So those ones right there will activate your quads, hamstrings, glutes, and core. And it'll build balance and stability in your lower body, okay? And then the other one is the high knees, right? So high knees is you're going to stand tall, right, with your feet hip width apart, right? And then you're quickly going to just drive one knee forward to your chest, right? And then you're going to switch legs again, boom, right? You're just going to, this is high knees, right? And you're going to pump, right? Pump those arms, right, and sync, right, with your legs, right? And then to maintain your rhythm, right? And you do that for like 20 to 30 seconds, about 20 reps, okay? And then all this stuff, if you guys need a better tutorial, I'm just giving you guys examples here. Just Google, YouTube it. Just watch a video. You know, if you don't feel like I'm explaining it clear enough, because I have to get through this stuff. But I want you guys to understand the importance, and I want you to understand what you have available. This is what you need to do. You know, you need to do these things, okay? Because all this stuff right here, right? Like this stuff right here, the one I was just talking about, you know, that's good for your heart rate, you know, and that's good for your coordination and speed and endurance. So without being redundant, with being redundant, I'm going to go ahead and explain real quick one more time a couple of the stretches, kind of review what we talked about, but there's also a couple more stretches, right? So we talked about the dynamic stretches, right? Those are the ones that you're going to use to warm up before you start dynamic, okay? So those are the beginning to get your blood flowing, right? So you can perform, you know, the exercises and stuff like that without hurting yourself, hopefully. But be careful, don't overdo it. You know, go nice and slow with these things, because we're not trying to hurt ourselves before we start working out, okay? Because we still have to work out, right? And that's the whole point. So the last slide, I talked about the high knees, okay? We know about that. This is a little stuff. These are just the ones that you probably should consider doing, okay? And then we have the arm circles. We talked about that, okay? Just a little review on that, okay? Those things are awesome. Leg swings, okay? And then there's other ones too, like now we got the after exercises, right? We haven't talked about those yet, right? So we got the hamstring. So that one right there, I'm not gonna perform this one because right now I have one knee that's a little bit, it's a little bit swollen in the back. And so if I do it, I won't be able to bend it all the way right now. So, but yeah, this one basically, it's the hamstring stretch, right? So you're gonna put your leg, let me see, you're gonna extend your leg straight in front of you, and the other leg is bent, right? So basically, you have it like this leg bent in the back, right? And then the other one's forward, right? And then with the sole of your feet touching inside the opposite thigh. I'm not going to perform the hamstring stretch because I can't right now, but because my knee's a little swollen in the back. I played basketball 2 days ago, and yeah. Anyway, so and if I don't do that stretch before I play basketball, it'll be a lot worse. Okay, so but yeah, the hamstring stretches, those are going to be important. You know, basically that's the one where you just put your leg behind you and the other leg forward, right? And then you're gonna stretch them by leaning forward. But I can't really do that one for you right now. So if you guys want to do that one, you can look it up. And actually, I just remembered that I did put there's a downloadable sheet on here that has all the stretches. So you can just look up those on here. You can just download the sheet, and then you're good to go. Also, I have those downloadable workouts there too, and the food plans. So everything's there. There's no excuses. It's time to get going. Okay, I'm taking away all your excuses now. Now you can't say anything. All you can do is you have to do it now. Okay. Quad stretches. So grab your ankle with one hand, keeping your knees close together. Use the wall or chair to balance if needed. Right. Yeah. So this one right here is the one I do, and it's good for the thighs and the quads. And then the last one on there is child pose. But before I show you, well, actually, before I talk about that, so I think the one they're talking about is this one right here. You just hold it like this. Now you probably want to have a wall to hold up against, but this is really good for me, for my, like I said, for my kneecaps, because it gets the hams, or it gets the thighs, and it stretches a lot of things out. So that one right there is a really good one to do. And then the child's pose is kind of, you're just kind of laying down like this. It kind of doesn't seem like you're doing anything. Now we're going to talk about form. Let's talk about why form and technique are your best friends. With a bad form, right, you could have bad results, including a hospital visit, because you could injure yourself, right? Proper form ensures that the right muscles are being trained, they're activated. You're activating the right muscles, right? It'll give you a performance boost, because when you have that blood flowing in there, you feel stronger. How to use proper form, right? So start with body weight exercises. Like I'm mentioning, master the squats, the push-ups, the planks, okay? learn from a pro, okay? Watch tutorials, get a trainer, or mirror yourself. Well, you don't need that now. That's all right here. You're done. I got you. Just follow me. Do not think. Stop thinking. Don't think. Let me do the thinking for you. Just follow the plan. You'll be fine, okay? That's how I did it. Like once I stop thinking, everything changed. Everything changed. So let's not think, because our mind is going to it's going to start tricking us out of doing what we need to do, okay? We're going to be on the couch eating bonbons. A lot of mistakes that people make, right, is like sometimes, you're doing like deadlifts, right, and you're rounding your back, like you're not keeping your back straight. I mean, you're not keeping it straight, and you're rounding it. So therefore, a lot of pressure goes on the wrong parts, and you can hurt yourself, right? You can blow out your back, right? The same thing is with knee positions on squats, right? The knees shouldn't cave inward, okay? So when you're doing squats, they shouldn't be in here like this. No, it should be out, okay? And when you're doing exercises like certain lifts, right? You want to make sure your neck is not like this, way down here, or even way back here. You kind of want to just have it kind of keep your shoulders straight, right, and then keep your neck straight, and then that way, you don't want to move your neck certain ways, because if you move your neck like this way or this way, and you're doing this, you might be stuck like that for an hour, okay? So, quick story. When I was in my 20s, I remember I was playing basketball one day with my friend, and one day I went up and if you're watching this, dude, you know what I'm talking about, Lyle. I went up for the rebound, and I went up, and then my neck stuck like this. And then for like an hour, I was like this. I could not move my neck. And I'm like talking to my friend. I'm like, dude, this is scary. I don't know what's happening. So we went to his house, and I just laid on the ground, and I just lay there for it was probably like an hour or so, and then my neck straightened back out, okay? But you see my point? Yeah, be careful. Be careful. Make sure you guys are using that proper form. Okay, so some exercises, really good ones, right? Body weight squat, right? Focus on the depth and the knee alignment. Okay, so remember I was talking about you can do the chatter. This is the yoga one, right? Like this. See how my back is up, okay? And now if you have weights, right, it's the same idea, right? But you don't want to go too far forward. You don't want to go too far back. You want to be just right, centered, core, okay? Because otherwise, that's when everything goes off balance and things might slip. You might be in trouble, right? So, but then you have push-ups, right? When you're doing push-ups, don't sag your hips. So that's what I do. I'm the push-up guy, right? I do a lot of push-ups, right? I'm not saying I'm the best at the push-ups. I'm not saying that I probably can't do a little better at my push-ups, but it's going to be hard to show you guys here with this. Here, let me try this. Let's see if this works. So yeah, you do your push-ups, right? You just don't want to. So you don't want to sag your hips. See, my hips are up. I'm not sagging. If they're sagging, they're down here. You're going to hurt your lower back. We don't want to do that. We don't want to hurt our lower back, right? So we just want to go up. Okay. Plank. The same thing. You're just going to hold there. You're not going to move. You're going to keep that back straight. Okay. Plank is the same as the push-up, right? In that sense, is you're just going to keep that back straight. Do not let it go forward. Don't let your belly stick forward like this, because if you do, it pulls on the lower back, okay? And then make sure you just use proper form. Bring it up and down, okay? On the plank, you're just going to hold. All you're doing is holding. Keep your core tight, right? Deadlift. Well, the deadlift, yeah, you got to be careful, because if you try to deadlift, you can really blow your back. If you're leaning over like this or something, so just kind of keep it straight. Like I said, these ones right here, you can look up. I just want to give you guys basic examples of them, of exercises that you can do, but make sure you use your proper form. I would recommend watching a video on each one of these. I can create videos on these, but like I said, for this purpose, I don't have time to go through each exercise. I'm just trying to give you basic examples. So you can understand what I know, and then you can get going, okay? Because then you don't need me anymore, right? Once you don't need me, you're good. The one thing you might need me for, you guys, is maybe I'm going to be giving you guys information every week. and I'm gonna be giving you guys motivational tips. And I'm gonna be kind of letting you guys into my life a little bit. I'm gonna be doing like some recipes and stuff like that, some cooking. Maybe my dog here and there. I'll be hanging out with my dog here and there. But the main thing is I will be talking to you guys. I'll be having some information, like like a lot of these content creators. I'll be providing feedback on stuff that I watch, and I'll be providing feedback on text, literature, stuff like that. So on science. Because I want to make sure we really understand that, we can keep this thing going, and this is a life change, and you don't ever have to go back. But there's always stuff to learn. So, I mean, I think this channel is going to be forever. I don't think I'll ever stop doing this because there's just so much to learn. It's just nonstop when it comes to exercise, when it comes to food, when it comes to life, that I've overcome. So maybe I can help somebody here and there, So yeah, fun stuff, very fun. All right, another quote. This is my favorite one. The master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, guys. As an educator, my students, they follow me around. They like me because they know I've shown them I've failed and I've overcome. So they want to listen to me now, right? The same thing goes here. I'm 52 years old, you guys. I'm not 32 years old. I've been through a lot of life, right? So I've failed a lot over the past 30 years, right? 50 years. But I've also learned how to overcome. And my motto at school, I tell my kids, if something is not easy, I make it easy. So let me show you how to make this stuff easy. And then once it becomes easy, it's good. You're done. You can fly. You can shine. And you can create a YouTube channel to help people like I am right now. That's my goal, for you to do that. For somebody else to do what I'm doing, and a bunch of people like me and you. And then next thing you know, people are eating healthy, they're feeling better, and then we have a happier world. Okay, so the final thoughts on this is that stretching is the key to unlocking your body's potential. Making it a habit is good for like long-term benefits, okay? And then pair stretching with hydration and proper nutrition for optimal results. Okay, so your next steps. Watch the next video in the series, or go back and watch the other ones if you haven't watched them, right? Watch all these videos on this channel. All the ones that are about like food and medicine and exercise and recipes. They're really good videos, and they're really important for you to watch because they're, like I said, I'm just trying to plant seeds to show you guys why this is so important and how you guys are going to do it. Now you don't have to think. I'm taking all the thinking away. So watching them videos will help you learn that you don't need to think. Let me do it, and then one day you'll be able to say, okay, I can think again now, right? Now I know what I'm doing. Now I can think, right? Now, but I couldn't think because every time I started thinking before, my brain keeps coming up with all these weird questions and all these different answers, and then it goes to another one, and next thing you know, I'm back in the same boat, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm back on the couch eating bonbons again, right? And embrace it. Embrace the challenge. Embrace the change, okay? And so also share your progress in the comments, okay? If you're gonna be participating in the program for the On Cloud Shoe Challenge, then send me that video on the 12th with your introduction and showing you who you are, what you're trying to do, and then there's like 4 more videos, and then after the 5th video, then I make my determination on who's going to win the prize. Okay, so and then subscribe, because every week I'm putting stuff like this out. Like, it's going to be motivational. It'll be inspiring, and it'll definitely enlighten you guys, because we gotta break through this ignorance. If we knew what we're supposed to know, right, when we're young, right, about food and exercise and all that, then guys, we would be in a lot better position right now. We wouldn't be running to the doctors all the time, and those guys, and then those doctors, I don't know about you, but I've had problems with them. I'm not saying that there's some not great doctors out there. There are, but there's some that don't know. I've noticed some of them. I've noticed lately they've gotten a lot better, because they're learning that some of the opioids are bad for us, right? Or all of them, right? And they're learning how probiotics are good and how our gut flora. And so I've noticed there's some great doctors out there that are actually giving some great advice, saying, hey, go and take this probiotic or whatever, or whatever they tell you, instead of, oh, here, we don't know what to do, here's more pills, like they used to do 10 years ago, right? So it's gotten a little bit better, but still, you gotta take your own control. It's time to take control.